First blow goes to Ravi.
Says an Indian.
I did have to be referee up here tonight. I don't know about the host.
Sit in the middle.
We spent some time at Loughborough. We got to know each other from there, and then Kev's the sort of guy, you know, you can't just be friends with him. You know, you can't just get to know him, and you know, he's just going to like you and you become friends. I think you've got to earn his respect, and I think you've got to earn his respect in cricket, first of all. And if he rates you, and he has, you know, respect.
How are we friends then?
If he rates you, and he
It's no shit! You can't get in the one-day team!
you can't get in the test team.
Is anyone keeping score? I make that too all.
No, I think once you earn his respect as a cricketer, and I think that's amongst most cricketers, when you see new people coming to the change rooms, they almost have to earn respect as a cricketer first. And most cricketers know that. And then, you know, you sort of build your friendship after that.
Kim, that's quite an interesting point that Ravi made there in terms of you making friends in cricket. People have to earn your respect. It's fair to say that you've been described as a bit like mum in the dressing room. Does that come from people in that dressing room not earning your respect? Did you not respect a lot of people in there?
I don't think that's true. I think that's a throwaway line that was thrown at me. I think Ravi will answer the question probably better than me and say that 95% of that dressing room I'm very, very close to, and you can ask Ravi Bopara, stand right next to you.
Yeah, about Kevin. You know, and I'll speak honestly.
Strauss and Cook. Strauss is director.
He is actually good friends with most of the dressing room, and I know from all the players that are in there. And recently, I've been training with the side in the away this week, so that a lot of guys appreciate what Kev's done for England. You know, he's had a wonderful career for England, one of the best players that ever stepped on the field for England. And let's be honest, he changed
Take that
English
table
cricket,
sign down.
especially in 2005. He brought a sort of a different type of demeanour to English cricket, where, you know, we played it quite conservatively, and then, you know, suddenly he came along and you had a guy who was playing, you know, hitting sixes in Test match cricket and swiping, shanking six, you know, and running at Glenn McGrath and hooking him out of the park and that sort of stuff. Where I think a little bit in English cricket, it was that you couldn't do that to Australia. It wasn't allowed to be done. Where South Africa came down.
Kevin, do you think then that you were misrepresented? Because I suppose the problem was, a lot of those England players that you left behind and the rumours went round that you didn't get on with people, they weren't able to speak out, were they? Because they were still part of that England setup, so it would have been very hard for them to speak out and defend you. So, looking back on it now, what do you make of all the furore that went on with your England exclusion? I mean, the PM involved, and I don't mean Piers Morgan, I mean the real Prime Minister, he's actually asked a question at Downing Street about the debacle surrounding your inclusion in English cricket or not. Looking back on it now, what do you make of all the fuss?
There we go.
Take the words right out of
It's unfortunately I'm not a politician, and there's a lot of politics that goes with sport. And I was drifting in a different direction to which route the ECB wanted to drift in. It's hard when you try and fight an organisation as a lone voice, and I was prepared to fight that battle. I sort of fell on my sword a little bit, but I'm actually really pleased with a lot of the things that are happening at the moment. A lot of the things that I've been saying for 6 or 7 years are now starting to take place. So I can sit in a happy place. I'm not without a job or without work or without anything. I'm in a very happy place watching from afar and seeing what's going on. And
yeah, do you watch England, or is it a case of, is it a bit like watching Nets move on with their life. Do you follow them?
I'm an England fan. I mean, I don't watch certain people bat. But
It's like to go
but I mean, I watch certain areas of certain sports. So I'll watch in Formula One, I'll watch certain people. In rugby, I'll watch certain bits of rugby. In football, I'll watch certain bits of football. Chelsea.
They're champions, I think you'll find.
In cricket, I'll obviously watch entertainers. I like entertainment. So I'll sit around and I'll watch entertainment. And, if rugby's playing, I'll watch rugby.
Yeah, talk to us a bit about the man alongside you today. He's a very close friend of yours, and he's only 30. His England days aren't behind him at all. He's still playing at Essex. It feels a little bit weird that we're having a benefit year for somebody who's still got great things to come.
Well, I wouldn't say he's 30.
Are you 30?
Really?
Possible age. Possible age. Look, his exclusion from the one-day squad, I mean, I sent a message last time I saw somebody said that the one-day squad's been announced, and I sent him a message, I said, are you in that one-day squad? And he said no. And I find that quite extraordinary. You've got two players who've each been playing in the IPL, obviously quality plays in the IPL. You don't put your name on a hat and don't get selected if you're rubbish. The captain, he played more games than the captain in the IPL, yet the captain is in the one-day squad. And him, who actually made a real good impression in the IPL, is not in that one-day squad. And I've said it for a long time, and I'm not just going to say it here because I've been very vocal on social media and any interviews I've done. Ravi's been in a position, I was fortunate enough to watch Ravi's career. Ravi's batted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I played in South Africa 15, 16, 17 years ago when, for whatever reasons, rightly or wrongly, they had the quota system, and I played watching my back, and every single time I walked in the field I thought I had to perform. And when you walk out into a field and you have to perform every single time you go there, you put yourself under that much pressure that the majority of the time it goes wrong, and you're very inconsistent. And that's what's happened to Ravi throughout his career. He chucked in at 1, go and do a job. Go and do a job at 2, go do a job at 3. Drop him for a series, bring him back at 4. Drop him for another series, bring him back at 6. Plays real good cricket, gets up to 5. Plays the whole of last winter, does really, really well. He's probably the best all-rounder, statistics-wise, in the last 18 months. He gets dropped before the first one-day international against Australia in Melbourne. And that's what really frustrates me about the setup and how they treat certain people. If he was given a role in the side and said, go and deliver this role for a year, Ravi Bopara would be a much more consistent cricketer because he'd know at the back end of the hierarchy, and this bloke here would still be winning games, and he can still win games in cricket for England.
And that's why you need a friend like KP, so he can say one thing that you perhaps can't, because let's face it, you must still want to play for England. That desire is still there. Like KP said, you're in, out, it's all been a bit disjointed. It must be frustrating, but has it disillusioned you?
When you can't say.
Chatham House rules, maybe you can tweet anything that's said.
I think you do get to an age where
Really, for past what age?
you get dropped so many times, and then you get picked, you get dropped, you get picked, and then you get to a certain age where you just think, you know what, I'm really not that bothered anymore, whether I get dropped or whether if I get picked, I'm going to have fun, and I'm going to make sure, I don't put myself under that sort of thing. That's why I think now I'll play my best cricket, because I don't want to say I don't care, because I do care. I don't put myself under as much pressure as I used to, and I just enjoy my cricket a lot more now. And I think I can do a better job now for England than I ever would. So the desire is there to play for England, but that's down to the selectors. All I've got to do is score many runs in county cricket.
I have got a lot of questions from people here in the room tonight, and we will get to some of those, but quite a number of them sort of repeated the same thing. They want to know what direction England cricket is going in, because it's been heavily criticised for being too regimented, too driven by data, being, Kevin, too English.
I I mean, it is, and I think it's been found out over the last 12 to 14 months. Certainly, we got found out in the Ashes down under. The ECB have thought that the public are stupid, and the public are very intelligent, and the public want to see a winning team. The public want to see a positive team. I've just seen somebody now on social media go really hard this evening talking about how he just wanted to win games for his country. He didn't want sportsmen bringing up his children. And although we are role models, and although we do have codes of conduct that we have to adhere to, we're there to win games of cricket. We're there to win games of rugby. We're there to win games of football. Everybody wants to see winners. They don't mind losing if you play in a positive way, if you play in a positive brand, and if people understand which direction you're going in. Yeah. I just think that the English cricket team has lost its direction. There's been obviously a whole political nightmare around my scenario, which is fairly well documented, and I don't want to go into it. But it's just the direction with which English cricket, I just don't think they know where they want to go. And I feel sorry for Alistair Cook because he's the one who was put in the middle of the whole of this lot. He was the one who said, well, his great batting mentor, Graham Gooch, who was the coach, it was his job to get rid of him. He was sort of laid blame on my departure. And so they had to back Cookie, and he's had a horrendous 12 to 14 months, and it's nice to see him scoring runs again. But I just think the direction that the team wants to go is not the direction that it should be going. It's not playing a brand of cricket that people want to see. We saw some wonderful talent last week, Stokesy, the way that he played. So there is that talent there. They just need a leader who can grab that talent and drive it in a really positive way.
You speak with some sympathy and some degree of regard for Alistair Cook.
Yeah.
In terms of, if you got back into England before, would you have been happy playing with him as your captain? What's your relationship with him like?
I've never had an issue. I sent him a message the other day, and he replied to my message the other day about congratulating him on a wonderful achievement of becoming England's greatest run scorer. It's an amazing achievement. He's a magnificent batsman. You don't get 9,000 runs at the age of 30 if you're rubbish. So it's fine.
I'm just interested to hear from you in terms of what you think about the direction England is taking. Obviously, Andrew Strauss in there now, and we've also got the new England coach who is an Aussie, Trevor Bayliss, coming in for the Ashes this summer. That's a bit of a curveball, an Aussie leading England against Australia.
Well, first of all, I want to thank Strauss for making KP a Red Bull today. Trevor Bayliss, actually I get on very well with Trevor Bayliss. I've worked with him before in the Sydney Sixers. Spent a lot of time with him in the IPL as he's one of the coaches out there. So we got on really well. And hopefully he sees that I can make a difference to his side and get back in there. And in terms of direction for England, I just think it's a little bit difficult for England catching up with the other countries a little bit, especially in I'm talking about one-day cricket here. We have fallen behind in one-day cricket because we don't go out and play in leagues like the Big Bash, like the IPL. The English players don't go there, and we fall behind big time. Kev will tell you learn so much in the 6-week or 4-week period that you go and play in these other countries against the best players in the world. And some of these leagues, some of the bowling, like in the Big Bash, it's international standards. Some of the teams are even better than some of the international teams you play in. So we have fallen behind a little bit in terms of one-day cricket, and that's why we've suffered so much over the last couple of years, and especially in the World Cup, we've shown up.
Any fans of the IPL in the room? Yeah. Some polite people actually put their hands up and didn't make a sound. Thank you for that. What is it like playing in the IPL? I mean, I know that a lot of England cricketers have certain restrictions on them, and for them they want to channel everything into England career. But it must be a real big temptation for a lot of cricketers now. For the two of you who've had the chance to go and play there, Kevin, I'll come to you first. What's it like? What do you enjoy about playing IPL?
It's the excitement that it brings to your game. It's the wonderful Indian public who support that tournament so well. You get full houses at every single ground you go to. They chant your name when you're doing well. They support you when you're not doing so well. They still fill the stadiums.